Hi, in this unit we are going to talk about booleans. Now, basically, let's talk about boolean values. A boolean value can be true, it can be false. Now, what do I mean by boolean values? Now, we realize that we have learned that a variable, for example, temp can store an integer in Ruby. Temp can store a string. Temp can store a float. Temp can store nil, which means it stores nothing. Now in this unit, we are going to see that temp can also store true or false. Okay, in other words, a variable in Ruby can store boolean values, true or false. Now, what does this mean? What do you mean by a variable stores true? Or put in our way, how is this useful? Now, before moving into that, I must emphasize that true is the different from true in inverted commas. Alright, in this case, this is actually a string. I'm storing a string in temp. Here, I'm actually storing a boolean value, true, in temp. Totally different things altogether. Okay, to understand why is it useful to store true or false in a variable, let's talk about these operators. These are what we call comparison operators. Then you understand why it makes sense to store true or false in a variable. The double equal sign, also known as the equality operator, is very useful. It requires two operands, one on the left and one on the right. Let me give an example, and then things should become very clear. So let's say a equals to 10. A stores the value 10. A equals to 10. Double equal sign. Now, what's the difference between a single equal sign and a double equal sign? Now, single equal sign is an assignment operator. We have covered this. That means we are assigning the value on the right to the variable on the left. So A stores the value 10. That's assignment. Single equal sign. Now double equal sign is not assignment. It's equality check. It's an equality operator. It's a comparison operator. It is used to compare if the operand on the left is equivalent in value to the operand on the right. The whole expression itself returns a boolean. In other words, this expression, which I've just highlighted, will give true or false. Will evaluate to true or false. Okay, it doesn't do anything. It does not change the value of A at all, but it simply returns true or false. So if I hit enter, it returns true. The expression A is equivalent to 10 returns true. Why? Because A stores 10, and this is equality operator returns true if the operand on the left has the same value as the operand on the right. So in this case, this returns true. What about A equals to 9? False, because the operand on the left stores 10. The operand on the left here stores a value of 10. The operand on the right here is 9. So they are not equivalent. So it returns false. So I can do something like, temp equals to A equals to 10. Alright, how do I read this? Basically, this is to be evaluated first. It returns either true or false. In this case, it returns true. And then true is assigned using the assignment operator to the variable temp. Okay, if you want, you can put braces here. You can put round brackets here to make it look better. But actually, they're the same thing. Alright, so the value true will be stored in temp. Okay, so we can store booleans, true or false, into variables. Let me emphasize again, this is a very common mistake amongst new programmers. This operator is very different from this operator. Totally different. Okay, single equal sign is assignment. Double equal sign is comparison, equality comparison. and the expression returns true or false. It does not change the value of any of the operands. Okay. Now this operator is very similar to the equality operator. This is not equals. So that's the opposite of equals. Okay, more examples. Say A is 10, B is 20. A equals to 10. A equals to B return false. Yes. A not equals to B returns true. So in this case, the expression returns true if the operand on the left is not equivalent to the operand on the right. Right, so it works in the opposite way of the double equal sign. Okay? So that is the meaning of not equals. What about this? Now you have seen this in primary school mathematics, right? Small than, bigger than, smaller or equals, bigger or equals. So for example, A stores 10, right? A bigger than 6, true. A bigger than 10, false. A bigger or equals to 10, true. Okay, because A is 10. 10 is bigger or equals to 10. That's true. That's a true expression. Now, when you do the bigger or equals or smaller or equals to sign, remember there's no space in between. Okay, so if you do something like that with a space in between, you get a syntax error. Remember, there's no space in between. Same thing, no space between the exclamation mark and the equal sign. Okay, there should not be a space. The thing is one operator. This two characters stuck together is one operator. No space in between. Okay, so remember all these comparison operators, when you use them, they do not change a variable's value. They just return true or false.